President. I just want to start. I have no prepared remarks, and I'm going to try to speak right from my heart. And my heart is full. I want to start off by thanking Tom for the very kind comments he made about serving with me. We met 10 years ago. He was at bomb thrower, still a little bit actually, that you talked about when you guys were elected 20 years ago. And I was one of the people who came up along with Lamar Alexander, George Winovich, Mark Pryor, with the idea of an orientation for new senators. You know, when we got here, actually spend some time together, teach the new guys and gals the ropes. And I remember the first day we convened and put them all in a big circle in Ted Stevens' office, beautiful office here in the Capitol. And out of that day, there was 3 days, Tom and Carolyn and Michelle and Barack began to bond and became friends. I didn't know how close friends they were until, I don't know, about 4 or 5 years ago. I don't know if you remember, it was in the State of the Address, President Obama giving the State of the Address. I was sitting on the Republican side. You know, there was a time when we actually went back and forth and trying to mix things up. The President finished his speech, and he's come along, and there's no rope line, you know, and when you finish one of those speeches. The President came along and shaking hands with people, and I was sitting next to Tom, and we walked down so we could say hi to the President. I'll never forget what the President said to him. Just the quiet between the two of them, they embraced, and the President said to him, "Are you still praying for me?" And very quietly, Tom Coburn said, "Every night." Just like that. And they didn't agree on everything, but they were friends. They are friends. And they'll always be friends. And I hope Tom and I will be as well. I remember sitting up there where Cory Booker's sitting now, our new senator from New Jersey, and listening to Mike Enzi talking about how he worked so well with Ted Kennedy. Ted Kennedy, one of the most liberal Democrats in the Senate, and Mike Enzi, one of the most conservative, and they got extraordinary amounts of stuff done. And I just want to say all the legislation that's coming out of our committee, Susan has led, Senator Collins has led that committee before, and the legislation that's moving through this body and through the House this week is pretty amazing. To strengthen our cyber defenses, to take the chemical facilities anti-terrorism law that Susan Collins authored all those years ago, make it better, make it real, to better protect our nation's information from attacks all over the world. Try to make our Postal Service not just relevant, not just like hanging on, but actually vibrant and real. But that day, Mike Enzi talked about the 80-20 rule with Ted Kennedy. And he said, Ted Kennedy and I agree on about 80% of the stuff. We disagree on maybe 20% of the stuff. And he and I decided to focus on the 80% we agreed on and set aside the 20% we don't agree on to another day. And I call that the Enzi rule. And that has helped guide me here in the Senate, and it certainly has helped guide me in the work that I've been privileged to do with Dr. Coburn. Somebody asked me when I became the chairman of the committee about 2 years ago, and Dr. Coburn was going to be the ranking member of the committee, what it was going to be like. How are you going to work with this guy? And I said, it's going to be a little bit like a marriage. It's like a little bit like a marriage. You got to work at it every day. Everybody's got to give, meet somewhere in the middle. I love to ask people who have been married a long time, what's the secret for being married a long time? Some of you heard me talk about this. I get hilarious answers, really hilarious answers, but also some really terrific, insightful answers. I think the best one I've ever gotten when I've asked what's the secret for being married 40, 50, 60, 70 years, the best answer I've ever gotten was this: the 2 C's. The 2 C's. It's not Coburn and Carper. It's the 2 C's, communicate and compromise. Communicate and compromise. And that's not only the secret for a vibrant marriage, long-lived marriage for 2 people, it's the secret for a vibrant democracy. And I believe the reason why Tom and I have had this partnership that I think has been productive is, one, we surround ourselves with people, certainly for me, smarter than us. And the second thing is we believe in communicating, we believe in compromising, and we believe in collaborating. And I think the American people are the beneficiary of that. Others are waiting to speak. We have a reception later today for Tom, and I hope he comes. But we'll have the opportunity to say some some more things as well. He's not the kind of person who likes to be praised. So this is probably punishment. There's a verse in the scripture we're talking about, I don't want to hurt your enemies, just heap them with praise. I pour praise all over them. So this is probably a little like that. Not that you're my enemy. But I want to close with this. His work on the Bowles-Simpson Commission is for the ages, for the ages. And I hope that we'll never take away or walk away from the lessons that he showed us with his courage in supporting that work and helping to craft that work. We'll close with his faith. There's a verse of scripture in Matthew 25 where we talk about the least of these in our society. When I was sick, when I was hungry, when I was thirsty, when I was naked, when I was in prison, those are the questions. And if you've done it to the least of these, you've done it also to me. He believes that we have a moral responsibility, a moral obligation to the least of these in our society. And he also believes we have a fiscal obligation, a fiscal imperative to meet that moral obligation in a fiscally responsible way. And I think those two ideas will guide him in his work, and frankly, it's an inspiration to me. Last word. Leaders should be humble, not haughty. Leaders should lead by our example, not do as I say, but do as I do. Leaders should have the heart of a servant. Leaders should have the courage to stay out of step when everyone else is marching to the wrong tune. Leaders ought to be committed to doing what is right, not what is easy. Leaders should treat other people the way they want to be treated. And Tom has offended just about everybody in this body, but he always comes back and apologizes, and he's done it again here today. Leaders should focus on excellence in everything we do. If it isn't perfect, make it better. Like in the preamble of the Constitution, in order to form a more perfect union, that defines him. And finally, if you think you're right, you know you're right, just never give up. That's what a leader should be about. And for the years that he's served here and for a long time before that, and I guess for a whole lot to come, he's been that leader. And I feel lucky to say he's my friend. God bless you.